Hello, and welcome to the other side.
And today's file.
Today's file looks at the truth.
We know it's out there.
Oh, but we do. Most cynics believe that a high percentage of people who report sightings of UFOs are in fact fakes. People who are only interested in the 15 seconds of fame. People who rub their greedy little hands together in the hope that they will get some money for their story.
You mean people get paid for their stories?
Stay right where you are. The real truth is that most people who report cases are in fact genuine in their belief that it happened. And people who have actually been abducted and returned are often very shy about the whole thing.
So why is it in this day and age we choose to think people are making it up?
For two reasons. Firstly, the aliens themselves don't actually act in a worthwhile manner. They hang around lonely farms and country lanes and generally make a nuisance of themselves.
You mean they're not very bright?
That's right, little protege. Not too bright. Surely people think if the aliens have travelled all this way, they would have had some things better to do than hang around Hungry Jacks and annoy passing dogs.
Is that really what they do?
Well, no, I just made that up for a good story.
And the second reason.
My point. For the second reason, we must travel back to the 1950s, where we can find one of the first known hoaxes. George Adaminsky co-wrote a book called Flying Saucers Have Landed. He claimed to have had a series of meetings with blonde-haired aliens from the planet Venus. The Venetians supposedly had motherships in orbit around the Earth and smaller scout craft in which they landed. At the time, Adaminsky became quite famous. He also claimed to have seen forests and rivers on the moon, to have walked on the surface of Venus, and to have met with Martians.
Was it true, Warwick?
No. All of his photos were proven to be cheap fakes.
The forests and the rivers?
His backyard.
The Martians?
Probably his mother-in-law. Who knows? The point is that he spoiled it for everyone and built an army of cynics who had nothing better to do than sneer at people who have been to the other side.
And you say people get paid for these stories?
Well, you've mentioned this twice now. I don't think you get into the point.
Now, how much do they get paid, roughly?
Little student money is totally meaningless on the other side.
But it's pretty helpful on the other side, isn't it, Warwick?
Splutter, splutter. Here's Godzilla. Hello and welcome to the other side.
So, what pathetic conspiracy theory have you forced today, Warwick?
Today I'm taken to the high seas, where men are men, and ships are ships. Let us travel back in time to October 1943, halfway through World War II. Are you there yet?
Yeah, I'm there.
Good. Imagine the advantage you'd have over your enemy if you were invincible. Invisible.
I'm sorry, I don't quite see.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? You know, some people believe that the incredible scientist Albert Einstein was working on a theory called unified forces. To explain would take far too long, and quite frankly, it's unlikely that your brain would be able to cope. But what I will tell you is that by combining the forces of electricity, magnetism, and gravity, it is thought that Einstein stumbled across invisibility.
You mean?
Yes. Exactly. There are reports that a ship in Philadelphia was wrapped in a force field of 100 meters across and was in fact invisible.
The Philadelphia experiment.
Precisely, little protege. Anyone inside the force field could vaguely make out other people, and anyone outside the force field could vaguely see an outline of the ship's hull, but nothing else.
So the crew became...
That's right.
Invisible.
That's right.
So the experiment was a success.
Well, not if you call half of the crew going mad a success. You see, once the experiment was over, the story goes that the crew members would freeze and become invisible at any time and without warning.
I didn't see them on the news.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? They're invisible. Once they froze, it was very important for people to mark the spot where they were last seen. Friends had to feel for their skin and bring them back into this world.
What if they didn't do that?
The person would explode into flames, never to be seen again anyway.
Well, what did the Navy say about all this?
They deny
The newspapers?
it. I can't remember.
And what about the surviving crew members?
They just disappeared. Sorry about that.
Who are you talking to, Warwick?
No one at all, little protege. You ready? Come this way. You know, Oh, didn't.
Warwick, what was that?
Didn't see that one coming. Well, you wouldn't, would you?
Answer. I know the answer, but I'm just gonna.
Hello, and welcome to the other side. Again.
You know, Warwick, I'm getting bored with you always being a believer. Surely even you doubt alien life at some time.
Well, if I didn't doubt, I wouldn't question. And without questions, I wouldn't have found the other side.
Whoa, that's deep, man.
All right, I'll share with you a problem myself and my colleagues have had. I never thought I'd say this, but lately there's been way too many UFO sightings on this planet.
How can there be too many?
Well, over the past 50 years, there's been thousands of spottings of UFOs. Now, if you take into account that for every spaceship which has been seen, you can probably assume that there'll be another one that we have not seen. We're talking an epidemic of spaceships, man, in astronomical proportions, dude.
It almost seems like everyone with a spaceship just drops on into Earth.
Precisely. One trip to Mars with a side trip to Earth thrown in. We're a very popular travel destination. Why, we have people who jump up and down to strange music in sweaty clubs. We walk strange-looking animals on leads. And as for what we watch on the box, well, I won't even go into that. That Richard Dean Anderson guy.
Yeah, Warwick, I guess we're a pretty interesting bunch.
Maybe. But are we really worth the trip for thousands of aliens every year? I put it to you that I'm not so sure anymore.
So you're questioning the whole idea of the other side? Talking of holidays, where are you going this year, Warwick?
Well, I've got some old friends I want to visit. On Mars. Let's go. Because, you know, the Martians are quite nice. Been friendly with their race for years. I actually...
What is the animal? The mascot for the Chicago Bulls. It's easy.
Hello and welcome to the other side, where, as usual, I have a tale to tell.
And what is that tale, Warwick?
A young girl soldier in the Russian Red Army was bored. She'd been wounded and her recovery was taking some time.
So she wasn't happy?
Indeed not. I was very angry and upset one day, Ninel recalled. I was walking towards a cupboard when suddenly a jug moved to the edge of the shelf, fell and smashed to bits.
So she pushed it, right?
You'd think that, wouldn't you, you idiot? Of course you didn't push it. There was no hand contact. After a while, she noticed other things happening. Lights going on and off, crockery moving across tables, clouds moving across the sky, apparently of their own accord.
Clouds do.
I haven't finished. After a while, she began to concentrate and learn how to use her incredible power.
Well, what did she do with it?
Scientists started to take an interest in her. And it was during one of these sessions that she performed one of her most amazing feats. Come a little closer, as this will interest you. I hate that laugh. Don't! I will set the picture. A raw egg, very much like this one, which I happen to bring along with me. Coincidence, you be the judge. Broken into a glass tank, filled with saline solution. Thereby intense concentration. The white from the egg had moved the two apart. You know, the white and the yellow, they'd moved. They separated, even though she was standing several meters away from the tank at the time.
That's the most amazing story I've ever heard. How did they explain it?
The usual. Magnetic forces were involved, you know, if I remember rightly. Maybe it proves that anything is possible if you try hard enough. Concentrating.
Whoa, Warwick, I'm moving towards you, man. What's happening?
Just checking. There's still life in the old boy yet. We'll see next time on the other side. Can you get this stuff off me? It's really sticking my eye. You could do that. Yeah, hello and welcome to the other side.
I've been enjoying these trips very much.
Oh, you have you? Well, that's good. And thank you for your feedback. It's very encouraging.
We're beginning to sound like Oprah Winfrey here.
You're right, we must move on. To Paris, 1889. An English mother and her daughter got off a ship from India and booked into a local hotel. They got 2 single rooms, and after both signing their names in the guest register, they went upstairs.
Do they have hair dryers in the room?
It was 1889. The mother was placed in room 342, but as she soon entered the room, she became ill, very ill.
Oh, what did the daughter do? She was all alone in a foreign country, destitute with a word of French.
That's right. You've been reading my bibliography.
Yeah, it's not too bad, Warwick.
Well, I wrote it myself. The hotel doctor examined the mother and then talked to the manager of the hotel. They seemed very excited, perhaps even agitated. The girl managed to make out that they needed a certain medicine which was at the doctor's surgery on the other side of town, and it was her job to go and get it.
But how could she? She didn't know the city, had no money, and the carriage she would have had to take would have been incredibly slow.
That's right. 4 hours later she returned. She rushed into the foyer and said, "Come in, Father Mia."
Wow! What does that mean?
Well, you don't have to be a genius to work it out.
Huh?
How is my mother?
Oh, how was my mother? And how was she?
Well, the manager looked at her blankly and said, I don't know who you're talking about, but you arrived here alone.
Whoa! But that was a lie! What about the guest books? They both signed in there!
The girl's signature was there, but above it was the signature of a total stranger.
What about room 342? The mother must have been there.
Gone. No sign of her. And the room was totally different. Different curtains and colours. A totally different brand of peanut butter by the minibar.
The hotel doctor?
He denied anything ever happened.
I don't believe it. What did she do?
She returned to England and lived very unhappily for the rest of her life. What really happened to the mother, you may ask? One explanation was that she had caught the plague in India, and the hotel management got rid of her to stop a panic breaking out. But what about the body? And could they really have redecorated the room in a mere 4 hours? The mystery remains a mystery on the other side. Come, we must go.
I'm really blown away by that story, Warwick.
Howdy ho. Well, there's plenty more where that came from on the other side. Hello, we hope you're enjoying the show so far, but now it's time to visit the other side.
That would be my favorite place.
Have you ever thought how good it would be if you could be in 2 places at the same time?
Yeah, I have.
Look, you don't have to answer everything I ask. Sometimes I throw questions here and there for people to think about. I'm speaking rhetorically, okay? Not to constantly be interrupted. You've ruined my flow now. Where was I? You can answer that.
Oh, people say place, same time.
Oh, yeah. Madame Sage was a Russian school teacher. She was working at a girls' school when people began to realise things were rather odd. There appeared to be not 1, but 2 Madame Sages. At times, one Madame Sage would be writing on the blackboard and another would be sitting facing the class. 2 pupils once saw her indoors and at the same time picking flowers outside.
That's incredible. So she could sort of make an image of herself and project it to wherever she wanted it to be. Right?
Once you seem to have hit the nail on the head, my young people. After some time, the governors of the school got fed up and demanded to know what was going on. Yes, she said, it is quite true that I can project an image of myself by simply putting mind over matter.
Hey, we talked about that last week, man.
Indeed we did, and the truth is that it's such an interesting area, we could talk about it every week for the rest of eternity. Tut.
Sorry, were the governors impressed with her powers?
No, they sacked her. She was chopped down for daring to be different, daring to stand out from the crowd. She was sacked for being herself.
Well, herself and the other self.
Right. You know, the two of them were sacked for being an individual.
Well, for being two individuals.
You know, you're really beginning to get to me.
Well, it's lucky there ain't two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Isn't that strange? Hello and welcome to the other side.
It's rather cold on the other side today, Warwick. I think we should make this quick.
What I have to tell you today may alarm some people.
Maybe we have a duty to tell people to, like, switch off, okay?
But where can they go? As we're already on the other side.
That's deep, man. Really deep.
I know. In an underground storage site near Los Angeles, a dozen men and women lie in capsules that look like giant thermos. Their bodies are wrapped in foil. Remove the foil, and a thin layer of frost covers their faces. An icy mist of liquid nitrogen clings around their bodies.
Man, those American fashions are so weird, man.
It's not a fashion statement. These people are dead.
But whoa! Why are they dressed like thermos then, man?
They're trying to cheat death, little student. These people have been dead for some years. But centuries from now, attempts may be made to bring them back to life.
I've heard of this.
Cryonics.
It's a big word. I don't remember, man.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? The word you're looking for is cryonics, okay? Freezing the body at low temperatures and preserving it.
Just like a frozen pizza, huh?
If that helps you.
Look, whose idea was this, Warwick?
I'm not sure, but what I can tell you is that it doesn't always have a happy ending. In the 1920s, the English philosopher Francis Bacon stuffed a chicken with snow so that he could observe the effect of the cold.
Hey man, that must have been pretty tough on the chicken.
It was dead.
What happened?
Bacon caught a chill from the snow and died only days later.
Whoa! What a cruel twist of fate.
Indeed. Come, we must go, as temperatures seem to be plummeting, and I feel a chill in my bones.
Hey, what are you up to this afternoon, Warwick?
I'm visiting my pet Guatemalan sloth.
What? Snortle?
Yeah.
I thought he died years ago.
I still visit him, from time to time. He lives in Boyeski. I ran over his son a while back, put him in the fridge. It's pretty bad, he's still stuck to my wheel. But anyway,
Hello and welcome.
hello, and again, welcome to the other side.
You know, you're building up quite a following here, Warwick.
I am I? Well, people talking about me at the water coolers, are they then?
Many, many, many people.
Good, it's a start. Then I'm expanding minds and getting people to think deeply.
What are we looking at today?
Today, I ask you this question. Do plants have emotions?
Why, of course not.
Well, within the past decade, several researchers have reported that plants do know who their friends are and actually react to threats, going as far as to faint in the presence of very dangerous people.
What's a dangerous person from a plant's point of view? A serial leaf puller?
Cleve Baxter, an American lie detector expert, attached one of his little polygraph machines to the leaves of a plant and saw to his surprise that it reacted in exactly the same way a human would when exposed to some sort of emotional stimulation.
Oh, please, Warwick, tears, whole bag of emotions, oh, please.
Hoping to find other reactions, Cleve considered burning the plant, and as soon as he thought of it, there was a dramatic upward sweep in the tracing pattern of the polygraph.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Are you suggesting that the plant could read his thoughts?
Well, it gives us something to think about, doesn't it?
I mean, the evidence is pretty weak here, Warwick.
You great fool, you trod on a leaf.
What the?
You really should watch where you walk sometimes on the other side. Step on a twig next day. Massacre of plants, eh? Hello, and welcome to the other side. To anticipate your eager question, my little student, today I'm going to talk of nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhymes. Warwick, I'm 53 years old, man.
But never too old to learn, I hope. The origin of many nursery rhymes is unclear, but the majority can be traced back as far back as the 17th century back.
I'm gonna need an example here, Warwick.
Ring Around the Rosies is believed to date back to the Great Plague. If you ever had the plague, the first symptoms would be a rosy red rash. Just work out the last line of the song, and you'll see it makes sense. A tissue.
We'll fall
We
down.
all
Whoa!
fall down, that's
Mark, I get it. They all fall down from the plague.
Precisely. Some nursery rhymes are based on old superstitions from days gone by. For example, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick.
Well, what was all that about?
Jumping over a lighted candle was an ancient method of telling fortunes in medieval England. If the candle stayed lit, good luck was forecast. Ask Monty the weatherman. If it went out, bad luck would follow.
Well, sure, especially if your butt was on fire.
Well, get on with it.
Well, so what you're saying is that even simple nursery rhymes really aren't as simple as they appear to be.
That's right. You must always look deeper. Finally, it must be said that nursery rhymes are universal. Humpty Dumpty appears in Francis. Belay. And in Denmark as Lily Trilly. And in Finland as Hilarion Caesarean Fuba.
Surely, Warwick, as these rhymes pass from generation to generation, from country to country, their meaning must have changed a little.
Oh, indeed. And now we are coming to my final point. Humpty Dumpty, as we know him, is not the Humpty Dumpty of 1,000 years ago. We're looking at a fraud. Whereas today, the last line is, couldn't put Humpty back together again. 1,000 years ago, it was, who was Humpty Dumpty?
But we all know Humpty was an egg.
Precisely. There's no point in having a riddle that everyone can answer, right?
So Humpty has no place on the other side?
No, Humpty Dumpty does not belong on the other side. Hello and welcome to the other side.
Warwick, I have to say, you've been a great teacher to me these past few months.
Well, thank you. I have indeed been one of the best.
I feel almost ready to move to like a higher level.
Well, you know what? I think so too. And that's why today I've come to talk of hiccups.
Hiccups? Well, that doesn't seem worthy of the other side.
At first glance, perhaps not. We've all been there. We've all had the hiccups. And you can guarantee that some smart-ass astronomer will come up with a cure.
Like giving someone a fright, you know? Water.
Exactly. But doctors have pointed out rightly that more people die from fright than the hiccups. So the cure would be worse than the condition.
There must be research.
Well, you know, between 1948 and 1956, Jack O'Leary claimed that he hiccuped 160 million times. He tried 60,000 remedies, all in vain. Finally, in desperation, he prayed to St. Jude, patron of hopeless causes, and his hiccuping stopped.
Whoa! That's freaky, man!
Heinz Izicki, a 55-year-old Hanover plumber with brown hair, good sense of humour and blue eyes, hiccuped for 8 months following an operation in 1973.
Oh, that would really get to someone. Did St. Jude step in again and...
Not this time. Suggestions poured in from all over the world. Doctors even thought of operating once more and trying to remove the offending hiccup.
Really?
No, I just made that up. Anyway, eventually Heinz drank a secret herbal mixture sent in by a concerned member of the public. By the evening, his hiccups had gone.
Whoa! Just like that. What was in it, man?
The suggestion is that what was in it didn't really matter. The suggestion is that as long as Heinz believed in the mixture, his hiccups would go. Was it the mixture or was it his faith? No one knows.
I see no, the hiccup.
Hee-hoo-ha-ree, hoo-ha-hoo-ha-ha-hoo. Amusing, but far too predictable. You gotta be quicker than that on the other side.
No, really, I can't help it.
What the?
I can let. What the?
What do you, let's get out of here.
I can't help it.
See you later on the other side. Let's go and get a glass of water or something. Maybe one of those remedies.
Come on, Warwick. I can't help it. What the heck? Let's go the other way. I'm serious.
Hello and welcome to the other side.
What's it to be today, Warwick?
It's been some time since we spoke of alien visits.
The things people claim to have seen consistently amazes me.
But today we're not talking sight, we're talking sound. You must learn to use all of your senses, little student, when visiting the other side.
Huh. My mom always says that I have no sense.
Well, you know, she'd be right, wouldn't she? Let's go back to 1964.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide.
Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Oh, those were the days. How I loved the 60s. Can't seem to shake that time out of my head. I was wild then, lived on the other side the entire time of my life. If you know what I mean.
Warwick, you've slipped into a whole nother dimension, man. Just snap back to reality.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Focus. Reality, of course. Now, where was I?
Alien visits.
Yes. Christmas morning, 1964, Warminster, England. A company of Welsh guards, overflowing with joy and happiness, were full of optimism for the year ahead. They were suddenly disturbed by the sound of a thunderous explosion. The noise was repeated so many times that the men were called to duty.
What?
Judge Judy.
Whoa, man! Not Judge Judy!
Duty.
That's scary! I mean, it must have been an attack of some sort.
Indeed. They went outside, now overflowing with fear and dread, totally pessimistic about the year ahead.
Well, what did they find? What was out there?
Find? Out there? Absolutely nothing. There was nothing to be seen.
Oh, that's amazing!
Later that morning, a woman on her way to church was knocked down and pinned to the ground by some sort of sonic wave blast. The noise, described as a low drone with a beating rhythm, passed over several houses in the town, causing them to shake uncontrollably to their foundations.
Whoa, Warwick, this sound thing's too much!
Can you just, for once, try and keep the noise down? Months later, there were reports that animals were collapsing as if they'd been hit by some sort of ray, Martin.
And Warwick, this was all happening in the same area?
That's right. Sightings and sound became so common that they started to be referred to as the Warminster Thing.
Why is that?
Because it happened in Warminster. We'll be back on the other side next week. You know, you really need to listen more.
Whoa, what was that?
I didn't hear a thing. I blame the 60s for that.
I'm going.
Jade, I liked your hippie look today.
Oh, thanks, Lenka. I thought Ryan's trip to the 60s was pretty cool too.
Sitting on a park bench, and then this young woman, quite attractive, walked along with a small dog.
The dog starts barking at the guy's food.
Yeah, and the guy goes, "Oh, can I throw the dog a bit?" Yeah.
And then the guy throws the dog over the wall.
That's disgusting.
You're sick, Mark. Sick.
Tonight on TED.
Hello and welcome to the other side.
Why are you swinging that thing, Warwick?
Because today, little students, I'm here to talk to you of hypnotism.
Ah, yes. I've heard of this.
Well, you're very clever, aren't you? But for the people out there who aren't quite as clever as him, hypnotism is placing someone in a trance by suggesting that they relax very, very deeply.
Steady on, Warwick. I can feel myself going under, man.
You know, you're right. I've been far too good at this ever since the 60s. Anton Franz Memster, who I like to call Mesmerizer, well, one of the first people to demonstrate hypnosis as we know it today. Since his early experiments, people have begun to realise that hypnosis can be used to help people give up smoking, reduce their fear of needles, flying, phobia of a household wooden spoon, a cat.
But
help me out here.
Warwick, I believe that not everyone can be hypnotized.
Well, that's true. A lot of the early experiments were carried out on animals. And I think it's worth noting that one of the animals, and easiest animals to hypnotise, is in fact the chicken.
Why is that worth noting?
I don't know. What I do know is that by drawing a straight line and making the chicken focus on that line, by putting its head on the line, you'll find yourself with one hypnotised chicken on your hands.
Whoa! Think of the fun you could have, huh? But you shouldn't really do that at home, should you, Warwick?
No! Never, ever attempt to hypnotise a chicken at home. You leave that to the experts.
So did these experiments lead anywhere?
Indeed, they did. Sometimes hypnosis is used to help people remember things that have happened to them in the past. What no one was prepared for was when some of these people actually started remembering other lives that they led. What? That's right. They began to remember being other people from years gone by. They might have been a Roman soldier, an early jazz singer, or a well-loved sheepdog. All of this came about by going deeper, deeper, deeper!
Whoa!
And who are you today, little student? Student?
Well, hello there, Warwick. Let's swing those hips. Just like the king used to, baby. Oh no.
Elvis.
I feel funky.
I'm expecting you.
Oh, and that little hound dog, baby. Come here.
I'm ready
Come
to
here,
get
little hound
jiggy
dog.
with it.
Come here. I'll see the little hound dog. Come on. Come on. You're gonna set me on fire. My brain is flaming. I don't know which way to go.
Do you really think it's true that you can hypnotise chickens?
Lenka, I have no idea. Let's try it now.
I always told you I was a chick magnet, didn't I? This is Esmeralda, and I'm gonna hypnotise her. Steer into the centre of the circle. Don't look away. Keep focused. Come on, Esmeralda, look at it. Please, look at it. Do what we rehearsed. Go! Don't make me drag out the chicken whip. Come on, go! Look at it. Go! Oh, you stupid chicken! Go! Hello and welcome to the other side.
It's getting colder, Warwick.
Well, we're not here to talk of the weather. Today I have a party bag of information for open-minded people as we talk about the human body. Harika Stierenberg from Bochum, Germany, put a metal spoon to her chest and was amazed to find that it stuck there.
Warwick, it probably had toffee or something on it.
There was no toffee. There was no toffee. She was a magnetic woman and thus proceeded to stick the entire contents of her kitchen cupboard to her body.
Some people make me sick.
Brian Williams from Cardiff, Wales, can light a light bulb by simply holding it in his hand. On the other side, we call him the electrical man. Isn't the human body a truly amazing thing?
I can see where you're going with this.
Not as well as Zheng Xiangling from Beijing. She works in a hospital, helping doctors and nurses alike.
So she's a doctor?
Not at all. She just has a unique ability to see the internal organs and bones of patients. In short, she can x-ray the patients with her own eyes.
Whoa! That's amazing!
She'd see right through you in a second.
What was that?
Nothing. Finally, Frenchman Michel Lotito, otherwise known as Mr. Eat All. He travels the world eating metal and glass, washed down with mineral oil and all water. He has eaten bicycles, television sets, and even in a very peckish state, a light aircraft.
Whoa! I thought the last woman was amazing, but this is truly out of this world. How does he do it, man?
Scientists examining Lotito's stomach have found that his intestinal walls are twice as thick as an average person's, and his digestive juices are very, very, very strong.
Thanks, Warwick. I'm going to look at my body in a whole new light from now on. I just don't know.
What do you mean?
What?
You mean, how would you know if you had the power?
I mean, I don't know, Warwick. I mean, how could one tell if someone had such amazing powers, man?
Believe me, you'd know. You'd know what I like, my son. Anyway, let's go.
I just don't know, man. All these amazing powers.
I know. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind having those sort of powers.
You know what is truly amazing about those Cheez Files?
No.
Well, according to Warwick, if you really truly believe something, the possibilities are endless.
They are. Like what exactly?
Well, like levitating.
You mean like levitating when people rise in the air with nothing underneath them?
Yeah.
Lenka, that's just rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've never worked with anyone quite like Ryan.
Oh, he's very, very strange.
Hello, and welcome to the other side.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous.
And what are we talking of today, Xenapatra?
I have a tale to weave, a dramatic tale which will enthrall all who listen.
Oh, this sounds good.
Arachne. Arachne lived in a Greek village with her father. She was not very beautiful or even very nice, but she was brilliant at weaving.
Can't be good at everything.
She boasted that she was the best weaver in Greece, and said that she was even better at weaving than the greatest weaver of them all, the goddess Athena.
Athena couldn't have been very happy about all this.
Indeed not. All the gods were very upset at the very thought of a contest.
Well, she was a very stupid girl, wasn't she?
Soon afterwards, an old woman came to Arachne and demanded that she withdraw from the contest.
I'll do this part already. Ready? I demand that you withdraw from the contest.
But Arachne just laughed in her face. Suddenly, the old woman quivered from head to toe with rage until she was transformed into the all-powerful goddess, Athena.
Whoa, that's amazing!
Two looms were set side by side, and the contest began. Weaving and darting, darting and weaving, until a stop was called.
Stop!
Athene's cloth showed the gods in all their glory.
And what did Arachne's cloth show?
The gods as drunken fools. Arachne was so scared by Athena's fury that she hung herself.
Whoa, what an amazing end!
Yeah, but of course, that isn't the end, is it, Xenapatra?
Indeed not, my friend. Arachne's father begged for her life. Athena took pity and allowed her to live.
Oh, thank the Lord!
But that wasn't all, was it, Xenapatra?
Indeed not. She sprinkled herbs on Arachne, and a terrible transformation took place. First, her hair fell out. Then her nose and her legs quickly followed.
I don't like this!
Yeah, well, then her arms disappeared and her hands stuck to her sides. Her body shrank until she was no bigger than a fist. And finally, the rope by which Arachne dangled became a fine silken thread.
I don't get it!
Yeah, well, you wouldn't, would
ya?
you? Athena had taken her revenge and had turned the boastful Arachne into a spider.
Ha!
There ends my tale.
Well, that was one tangled web of you-know-what. Come on, I'm shaking all over. Give me an alien abduction any day.
She's awesome.
Yeah, if you like that stuff. What's with you? You should be loyal. Think it's gonna rain, eh? Just keep walking, we'll get there.
You all right, Jade? You seemed a bit tired on today's show.
Oh, I'm all right, Lenka. I just feel, yeah, I'm tired. I haven't slept for days, you know. I'm getting up early, and you know what it's like. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's called insomnia.
Really?
It's nothing to lose sleep over.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joining us later for the Cheez Files, but until then, it's Jumanji. Good morning, Cheezoids. We hope your Sunday is going well. It's time to meet another friend of mine.
You sure have a lot of friends, Warwick.
I do, don't I? And here's the biggest one of them all, Godzilla.
Hello, and welcome to the other side.
Look, I hope you got something good to say today, Xenapatra, or we haven't got long.
Hey, she's always got something good, Warwick. Give her a chance.
King Minos of Crete had a labyrinth, a maze, in which he kept a Minotaur, a fearsome creature, half man, half bull. Every year, King Minos demanded that people should be sent from Athens and sacrificed to the Minotaur to keep him satisfied.
What about the king of Athens, you know, King of Theseus, or whatever his name was? I mean, he couldn't have been too happy sending his people to be eaten by a bull.
Indeed not. But it was his son, Theseus, who was really angry.
What did Theseus do?
He sailed to Crete with the next victims, determined to kill the Minotaur. As he left, he raised a black sail and promised his father that if he was successful, his boat would return raising a white sail.
And if he was eaten, his shipmates would raise the black flag.
Theseus left for Crete. When he landed on those distant shores, he immediately fell in love with Ariadne, the daughter of his enemy, King Minos.
Look, love doesn't just happen like that. I mean, these Greek tales are full of hot air.
Hey, why, love does happen, man. You just don't know where to look.
You're just saying that because you're in love with her.
I am not.
You are too.
I am not.
You are too.
Ariadne also loved Theseus. That night, she crept past the guards and gave him a sword and a ball of thread to guide him out of the maze. The next morning, when he was thrown into the labyrinth, he tied the string to the door and set off to find the Minotaur.
Oh, so he left the string there.
No, he took it with him. He went this way, that way, lots of dead ends, lots of disappointment, until suddenly the roars got louder and louder as he crept around the corner. There, right ahead, face to face, was the terrifying monster.
Oh! What did he do?
He killed it!
Well, you know, Xenapatra, you really must improve your storytelling skills. I mean, a bit of action might help. You know? Probing. You know, that cutting-edge action.
Theseus and his love Ariadne sailed back to Crete.
So they lived happily ever after.
Look, this is a Greek tale, stupid. Of course they didn't live happily ever after. Did they, Xenapatra?
Indeed not, Warwick. On stopping for a sleep on the way home, Theseus realized that he couldn't marry his father's enemy, daughter, and he left her asleep on a lonely island.
Oh, I'd never do that.
Oh, you just drop it. That doesn't seem quite as tragic as usual. I fear there's something more.
Well, in his despair, Theseus forgot his promise to his father.
How convenient.
He forgot to change the black sail to the white sail.
That's right. King Minos saw the black sail and assumed that his son Theseus was dead, killed by the Minotaur. His sadness was so great that he threw himself off the cliff and into the raging seas below.
No, I can't take this anymore.
Theseus became a sad but heroic king of Athens.
Oh.
There ends my story.
Well, that was just fantastic. That was just a great way to start a Sunday morning. At least alien abductions have a bit of hope, a bit of class. At least a probe has medical advantages, and you, why don't you just ask her? It's very obvious to everyone around.
What? I mean, what she doesn't even know I exist.
Yeah, you're probably right. Come on, let's go. Let's emscrape.
What are you doing Friday night?
No. Check the wife.
Oh, for the first time I'm up here. Later on in the show, we'll be going behind the scenes of the new children's drama High Flyers, but For now, it's my favorite, Godzilla.
Hello, welcome to the other side.
This place is almost unknown to us, Warwick. It's been so long since we last visited.
Well, the other side is always unknown, little student. If we knew the other side, it would no longer be the other side.
No, I suppose not.
We're here to talk of levitation, the power to rise above the ground, to give the appearance of floating mid-air.
Nothing more than trickery.
Trickery, huh? Well, I suppose Daniel Douglas, who is coming home from Connecticut, USA, who is famous for many exploits including levitation, was lying. Once in a house in London, he was seen to float out of one 4th floor window and in through another.
That's just one person, Warwick. You can't base an entire theory on one person.
Well, why don't you ask Mrs. Ada Dean, also from London, who caused a table to rise in the air. According to witnesses, the table rose, it hovered in midair, and then finally crashed to the ground, burning.
Warwick, whoa, man.
Well,
that could have been trickery, okay?
But it did.
Wires. Could have been attached to wires.
I see. You're questioning her honesty, aren't you?
Indeed I am.
The little fairies came in with wires, carried out, and maybe the invisible goblins came in and raided her bedroom and chucked the table outside the window.
Warwick, the world is full of crackpots. For all your traveling to different dimensions, you're still sucked in like the rest of us.
You actually have a point. You know, the other day I was on the internet.
Sure.
I was ordering a mail order CD. CD didn't turn up. A guy did.
What the?
They kind of screwed it up, you know. I ordered a mail order CD. I actually ordered a mail. Anyway, I digress. A steel steed. A friend of Mrs. Dean said, and I quote, I have known Mrs. Dean for many years and know her to be totally honest. So you see, it must be true.
Well, must be. So that's levitation.
That is levitation. We'll see you after this.
Whenever I'm on the other side, I come away a better man.
Well, then my work here is done.
However, today I feel that I've learned absolutely nothing.
Then your ears have not been opened and your eyes have been closed. It is impossible to learn nothing when you are visiting the other side. You are the worst student I have ever had.
And today, my friend, you are the worst teacher.
All right? 3 times 6.
18.
Correct. The name of your dog is what?
Wolf.
Correct. Very proud of myself this moment.
But I already knew that.
That's not really the point, is it, little student? You see, communication is all about two people. I can't look in the mirror and communicate with myself. I'll just be learning the same stuff. That's why communication is all about two people.
Sure, man.
It's the relationship of two people.